Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Business Breakthrough Google Hangout. It's Glenn Dietzel here, and I'm excited what we're going to be covering today. I'm going to be sharing with you today some seismic changes and trends that I see going on in the coaching industry today. Now, let me say it at the very beginning that I don't want to sound negative, and I want you to understand that what I'm about to speak, I speak from the research that's going on currently in the marketplace. We're in over 120 industries. I've put it over 11,000 hours in this industry as a leader in coaching, training, co-branding, consulting, and the research that I'm going to show you today, and I'm not going to quote you a lot of statistics. I want to bypass that. Why? Because I want you to first of all understand that today it's all about knowing how to execute in a completely different fashion than probably what you're doing and probably what 99% of the so-called gurus and experts are teaching you to do. I'm going to provide a warning to you right now that my training and my specific advice that I'm going to provide to you goes against just about all the most of what is current advice in today's marketplace. So I want you to be aware of that. And that's really crucial that I provide you this warning, because I don't want to be the bearer of and disseminate advice here that's going to take away from your dream. However, what I do want you to understand is that there are some cataclysmic realities that current coaches and trainers and consultants are faced with today. And if you're in the industry and you've been in the industry for any length of time, you know what I'm talking about. You probably don't have the same kind of momentum that you used to. And the new reality is this, that there are tens of thousands of coaches and trainers coming online every single day, most of them in startup mode. And not that I want to crush anybody's dream, but I want to help you and assist you in accelerating a way that you're probably not accelerating right now. And the reality is this, that if you're feeling any level of frustration right now, you're only going to feel greater frustration and greater problems. And I want to assist you to leverage these trends. And I've organized them into three pedagogical systems, or three ways that I want to teach you or communicate to you on how to leverage my thinking today for your own business. So the reality is this, that if you don't follow what I'm teaching you, and I warned you at the very beginning that my advice is going to be contrarian to probably most of the advice that you've heard. And most of the advice you're probably following today, and you're probably doing what so many people are doing today, is following 10, 15, 20, 30 other so-called experts. They're great motivational speakers. But as I shared on our Profit Projector training last night, they're not assisting you with execution and with focus in the moment in growing your business, your coaching and training company. So we want to override that level or that kind of bad information. And I have found in today's market, one of the biggest trends that I see is that people are throwing money, good money, after bad advice. So I want to assist you to break free from probably activities right now that are constraining you and making you even more frustrated. If you feel frustrated right now with where your coaching business and training company is, I'm here to tell you that in the next 30, 60, 90 days, you're only going to feel greater frustration. I want to dispense my advice from three standpoints today, three organizing principles. And we're going to start today. We're going to look at content. We're going to look at execution, and we're going to look at leadership. Me taking the research that I've developed in the market and spending, as I mentioned, over 11,000 hours assisting coaches, consultants, and trainers in execution. And so these big seismic trends, we've broken them down into, again, first one is content. So content, and I want to give you some organizing principles in the area of leveraging and creating your content. I'm not here to speak about not getting a book done, or if you're writing a book right now, stop it and focus on the core competencies that you need to be focusing on. And we're not going to talk about that today. I want to take a look at the trends in the industry of coaching and overlapping with training and consulting. First major trend that you need to note in order to not only survive and thrive. So everything that you're focusing on right now in business, I want you to take notes, and I want to challenge your thinking around execution. So first of all, you want a dual channel income stream. You've got to have a dual channel income stream that's focused both on active and royalty income. Active and royalty income. Anything that you're working on or you are spending time on that's not focused on active income, i.e. high-end programs and services, and royalty income, you've got to have both of them. I want to just help you refocus where your activities need to be. Secondly, in the area of organizing principles for developing content, you absolutely have to understand in the advisory age how to speak to the 4 learning styles, and that is an R in learning styles. All right, that's an R right there. So how to speak to the 4 learning styles. And we've covered this on previous Google Hangout trainings, that there are only 4 learning styles, and accelerated teaching and learning is all about knowing how to work with those learning styles and get them to consume your content as quickly as possible, so that they can make a leveraged decision to follow your application process in order to work with you. And in order to work with those 4 learning styles, the why learner, the how learner, the what learner, and the what if learner, and you know from previous trainings that we've done that I've mentioned those 4 learning styles from the least patient to the most patient. The least patient being the why learner, and the most patient learner being the what if learner. All right. And in order to leverage your content in the advisory age, you need to understand how to create assessment instruments. And there are 2 critical assessment instruments. You need to know how to build and create assessment instruments. Why? Because assessment instruments allow you to invert the business funnel and reposition high-end programs and services and close deals really quickly. Now, we've got a whole training on advisory-based product, ABPs, in order to assist you to close deals even faster. So as we're going through this here, I want you to take notes, and I want you to think through, what are you focusing on? What should you be focusing on? Stop focus. I want to help you re-engineer your thinking, and most importantly, re-engineer your execution. The next item under content, under our content here, organizing principles for content as a major trend that's going on in today's marketplace. And you've got to know this, and you've got to understand this. And most importantly, you've got to execute immediately. Your not only survival, but the ability to thrive in today's marketplace comes down to understanding and making some strategic decisions to execute differently. And one of those areas is in knowing how to create customized education. Now, this might sound complicated to you, and it might sound like a lot of work. My clients love what we teach them because we just literally give them our processes, our systems to model, our template, everything, so that they can execute in speed to market fashion. And they understand that our systems simplify all of these processes. Next, how to educate prospective clients faster than your competitors. We've spent quite a bit of training over the last several weeks. And in fact, I've been interviewing some of my clients over the last several months on how my clients are able to educate prospective clients faster than their competitors in their marketplace, which is giving them the kind of results that they've always wanted in business, which is most importantly an ROIT business, return on invested time. Along the lines of accelerated teaching and learning, and that's really what I'm communicating with you on our training today, you need to know how to speak to the 7 types of resistance. And we've had other training on speaking to the 7 types of resistance. Speak to the 7 types of resistance. There's only 7 types of resistance that your potential candidates for your programs and services that you'll need to overcome. Definitely the overthinker is one of them. They have probably the most resistance to your program. So you need to know how to deal with the overthinker. You need to know how to deal with the procrastinator. And then we've gone through the other types of resistance. Another key component or organizing principle in dealing with content changes and content trends in the coaching industry is organizing your USPs, that is your market differentiation, from personal and company branding. You have to know how to organize your USPs or your market differentiation from personal and company branding. That is crucial. More than ever, personal branding is absolutely critical to your success. And more than ever, leveraging your company brand is crucial to your success. And you're going to develop and build your USPs, your market differentiation for your programs and services, from your branding. And finally, the last organizing principle for the big trend in content delivery as a coach or trainer is the question, how are you going to leverage modeling? Modeling is the number 1 way that we learn. Absolutely crucial that you know how to model success and the ROI that you promise to your clients, and most importantly, allowing your clients an opportunity to model what you do, so they get the success that they want even faster. And now you build a very powerful system if you follow our next 2 big trends that are going on in the coaching arena today. First area, the big trend is on content. Organizing principles around content. Next is execution. What and when, which you're going to focus on. What and when you focus. And so when it comes to execution, it's critical that you follow what I'm about to share with you. First of all, in the area of execution, you want to make sure that you develop social proof for your programs. Okay, there's nothing, one of the most powerful concepts in leveraging the advisory age is leveraging social proof. Next, you need to know how to leverage speed to market. Everything today is all about accelerated speed to market execution. So take a look at what you're doing right now in business. Is it providing you speed to market? Are you feeling momentum with your business? Do you have a simplified way of getting social proof for your programs and your service? One of our seams of success, which is one of our speed to market principles, we call it the seam of success, is focusing on what others don't do, can't do, or wouldn't think of doing. Focusing on what others don't do, can't do, or wouldn't think of doing. You can't position yourself at all like your competitors. As soon as your potential candidates for your programs see you as being remote associated with what your competitors are doing or how they're doing it, you have become irrelevant. So you've got to be focusing on what others don't do, can't do, or wouldn't think of doing. One of the mantras that our clients use in today's market, and a mantra that you need to consider as well, is what are the conversations and how are you furthering conversations faster and quicker? That is a huge trend that you need to be able to accelerate and leverage. So the speed to market principle is generating newer and faster conversation. Got to have a way of generating newer and faster conversation, or generating newer and faster conversation. And that is crucial in business today. Another critical concept that you need to understand, and major trend in the coaching industry under execution, is bootstrapping. You've got to know how to bootstrap in today's market, which means not necessarily throwing more money at something, being more creative, understanding how to bring creativity to your business from a scientific perspective. So there's got to be a blend, systematic execution, and the ability to leverage this concept that we've mentioned on previous Google Hangouts around strategy on the fly, and leverage them together. And most importantly, when it comes to execution today, you absolutely must know how to invest, and you must be willing to invest in mentoring yourself, focused on accelerated focus and execution. Invest in mentoring focused on accelerated focus and execution. In today's marketplace, you've got to know how to, got to be willing to invest in the right kind of mentoring that's going to bring you focus and execution. And if you've been watching all of our client case studies, every one of them has made an intelligent decision to invest in mentoring for their company, for literally not only the survival of their company, given these new realities in today's marketplace, but most importantly, in assistance with focus and execution. And the third trend, then, we've covered three. We started off by content, and I gave you some strategic organizing principles to think around when it comes to content trends for coaches. And then we talked about execution trends, what to focus on and what and when you need to be focusing, and some critical areas of execution there. And the third area then is on leadership. Leadership, how you influence. It has never been more crucial in the coaching and training industry to showcase leadership and to be at the forefront of the major trends that are going on in your industry today. So I'm going to pose some questions to you here. I'm also going to give you a couple of links to look at, and I want to assist you to execute. That's one of my skill sets. I'm a former teacher. A lot of educators still use a lot of the systems that I created because one of my skill sets that I bring to the business world, the coaching industry and training industry, is accelerated teaching and learning. Plus, we've been in over 120 industries helping businesses reorganize, re-engineer their curriculum into high-end programs and services with congruent consultative processes that allow my clients to land deals a lot faster and a lot quicker. So in the area of leadership, and that's really what we're talking about now, I want to give you some trends in the area of leadership that will directly impact you as a coach, as a trainer. First one is, are you worthy of being followed? Are you worthy of being followed? Okay, as a coaching leader or a training leader, are you worthy of being followed? That's a question that I want to pose to you, and I want you to think about as you're going about organizing content, as you're going about executing and closing deals and looking at how you're going to develop newer and faster conversations, how you're going to get your potential clients to consume your content and execute on your content and educate themselves to sell themselves to working directly with you. And that's a crucial component of leadership, right? Content, organization, execution, and leadership. Another question that you need to ask yourself right now is, do you have momentum? Do you have momentum? Creating for yourself the positioning power in today's market. The next question that you want to ask yourself is, are you positioned at the forefront of your industry? Are you positioned at the forefront of your industry? If you're trying to play a catch-up game, and that is writing a book, putting convoluted business funnels, hiring out copywriters, doing what all the other gurus and experts are telling you to do, I can guarantee you this, you are not only killing your momentum, you're not only positioning yourself from a catch-up, not the stuff you put on a burger or a hot dog, but a catch-up position. You never, ever, ever want to communicate, or you never, ever, ever want to be focusing on trying to catch up. You've got to know how to position yourself at the front of trends, and you don't need to know how to position yourself from a leadership perspective. So this means, and a critical question that you want to ask yourself right now is, how are you massively influencing your industry from a macro leadership level? How are you massively influencing your industry from a macro leadership level? You absolutely must have a leadership role in your coaching business right now, or you will not make it in today's market. As I mentioned to you, the trends are astounding. How many coaches and trainers that are coming on every day. And the new reality is that as many as that are coming on, tens of thousands each month, moving into multiple hundreds of different industries. Even more companies are failing. That means even more coaches and even more trainers are failing and going under. I don't want you to experience this. There is so much misinformation online about taking your passion and taking your expertise and putting it online and making money that I can't tell you enough that you've got to steer clear away from that. You need to refocus on how to organize content, how you're going to execute, and how you're going to leverage your leadership in your industry. That means that my question to you is, do you have an association or an entrepreneurial certification process or program or a private white label coaching program? What are some of these macro leadership programs that you are bringing to the market right now? An association, a certification program that'll allow you to leverage a private white label coaching or training or consulting program. You see, you can't do business on your own anymore. I can't stress that to you enough. I will repeat it again right now. You can't do business on your own right anymore. You have to know, and you've got to know how to create strategic alliances. So what are those macro leadership level programs that you are orchestrating right now that not only give you supremacy in your market, but also allow you to close deals, engineer really high-end strategic alliances with the media, with other potential strategic partners that want to bring you into multiple markets? And the fastest way of doing that is a co-branding alliance, where you've got coaches and trainers, you're attracting them to your systems with other clients, with your own clients, I should say, that you are allowing them a co-branding relationship or opportunity with you. And we've spent a lot of time on our Google Hangouts covering these critical macro level systems. What we're talking about right now then is a co-branding, coaching and co-branding program. What are you doing to leverage that within your own business? Or one of our macro systems, leadership systems, is our Mastermind Monetizer program. Our clients love this because they don't need to be the expert. Some of them don't want to be experts, but they want a way of corralling leaders in an industry and allowing them. This is nice and dark, actually, Mastermind Monetizer system, so that you can attract strategic alliance partners. So you've got to think very strategically in today's marketplace. I want to share something with you here. These are some of the thousands of clients that we've worked with to help them close deals. And I'm not going to go through each one of what we've done to assist them, but suffice it to say, they've made very strategic decisions to invest in their company around these three trends. And these three trends being content trends, execution trends, and coaching leadership or training leadership or consulting leadership areas or trending data that I've showed you here. I'm going to further share with you here that I've shared with you clients like Winton. And Winton, if you've missed our training that I did, yes, he's been able to do an extra $300,000 in business. And yes, he now has a dependable stream of income that's growing like crazy. And if you listen to my interview, he can't keep up with how his company is growing so quickly in a very highly competitive market. But I shared that training with Winton, most importantly, on how my clients are able to execute with just a few strategic hours. Like Winton, 12 hours of execution, he was able to close 6 high-end deals of new business that he never would have seen using our systems of educating ideal clients. So lead generating ideal clients, these ideal clients to self-select themselves into his programs and services, which means he now has a better conversion system. And that's because he's leveraging our templated processes and systems and blueprints and agreements and using them to close and land more deals. And so with Winton's training, or with the training that Winton helped you with on a previous training, we also presented to you the Profit Projector and on a boot camp that I did last night. And, I'm going to give you a link here in just a couple of minutes for the profit projector. But I want to share with you one of the real cool systems that we've created is a great way to corral your industry and showcase your leadership. And that is our private one-day business acceleration intensives. And I'm showing you this here, that if you want to get on the early notification list for that, you can go to newgurumodel.com/one-day, newgurumodel.com/one-day, and you can get details on how you get on the early notification list. This is a huge seismic change that's going on in trend in today's market. No longer do, I can tell you this right now, no longer do conferences, seminars, and events work the way they used to. And in fact, a lot of gurus are spending a lot of money to build their company around the event model, and the event model is almost dead. What is going to replace that is the intensive model. And we've created a very cool model that all of the top flight entrepreneurs that fly in all over the world to the Canadian Lake Home, to the Vegas Sandcastle, and to other of our residences that we leverage to showcase to you how to use the specific templates and models that my clients use to help you close deals a lot faster and give you the kind of tools that you need to organize your content, execute in the way that I shared with you, and most importantly, provide a new leadership model in your industry, especially around coaching and co-branding, the Mastermind Monetizer model, and our one-day business acceleration intensive. So if you want more details around that, go to newgurumodel.com/one-day. Also, if you are interested in getting our profit projector training, you can get it here. And if newgurumodel.com/profit projector. This is a intensive training that we did, a boot camp training on a virtual boot camp that we did. And if you want training on that, and I highly recommend that you understand your profit projector coaching number. And this is another major trend that is crucial to not only you surviving, but thriving, where you know how to calculate your gross annual profit and your net annual profit. And I take you through in that training in a step-by-step fashion how to calculate your profit projection coaching number, and the profit projector tool will allow you to do that. So those are a couple of systems that we've created to assist you, to help you organize content, execute faster and quicker than you're doing right now, and grow your company as an industry standard using a completely new leadership model. And I'm really excited. Why? Because in the 11,000 hours that I've put into working in over 120 industries with clients today, if you know what you're doing today and you're following these trends, and you know how to execute on these trends within your own business, you are onto something huge. And I want to encourage all of you to execute and, first of all, organize content in the way that you're not doing right now, or your competitors aren't doing, and execute in the way that others don't do, can't do, or wouldn't think of doing, and position your leadership in your industry, again, in ways that your competitors don't do, can't do, or wouldn't think of doing. That's why the seam of success is crucial. And that's why I place that trend in execution and right in the middle of content and leadership trends. So you understand that you can't be positioned in the same way that your competitors are. All right, take this content today, leverage it, execute on it. Apologize for a couple of nuances, a couple challenges that we had with having to shut with me getting out of my seat here in our international office. But hey, if my kids phone me right now on my cell phone, I would be answering my phone. Why? Because my family always comes first, and they know that. So please take the concepts that we covered use them in your own business. Take these trends. We have created formulaic processes to help you leverage content, execution, and leadership. And these formulas come in by way of coaching and co-branding, the mastermind monetizer system, our conversion processes, our ways of executing, and we delve into those very in depth. So you get a chance to take a look at the very systems and processes that I'm using, and we use those on our one-day business acceleration intensive. And this gives you an opportunity to leverage the over $3 million that I've invested into these systems to help you close more deals as a leadership coach, as a leadership trainer, as a leadership consultant. Have a great one. I look forward to our next Business Breakthrough Google Hangout training together.